Raoul, the way we're articulating this is like, this is the fourth time around for crypto. And you said this is the biggest wealth generating opportunity, and it's the most obvious trade maybe to ever exist in our lifetimes. And yet smart investors, quote unquote, are still missing this. And there are many skeptics. Like you mentioned, you still have friends who text you and you have these skeptics. You put out this tweet that said, I find it interesting that most of the world's greatest macro investors are big crypto and tech investors, both public and private markets. So you mentioned Stan D, Druckenmiller, Paul Tudor Jones, Alan Howard, Steve Cohen, some of these. But you said many macro posers, I think you're saying, who wish to emulate them on X are still skeptics.
Twitter posters or posers.
Yeah. So there's a lot of posers out there, posters on X who are still skeptical, yet some of the brightest macro minds are bought into crypto. Some are not, though, who are quote unquote smart investors. What is keeping the skeptics away from this asset class? Who still remains to be convinced?
So if you are an equity stock picking hedge fund manager who's famous for his long short bets, to admit that there's basically a free trade that's been on the table questions your whole purpose.
That sounds like just ego.
Oh, yeah.
Well, don't forget, you've got thousands of investors. You're managing 50 billion of their capital. And you just go, you know what, this trade's better, I'm off. Okay, there's a real psychological hurdle to admit that long, short, value investing, whatever, doesn't outperform. And what you get is that classic bell curve that I now find everywhere. It is the most important chart of all time, is like number go up. On the left, number go up on the right. In the middle is, no, it's impossible. Can't you see the risk you're taking? Don't you know it's cyclical? It goes down 80%, blah, 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 blah. They're all in the middle of the bell curve because they don't want to accept the simple, stupid facts that a network that attracts more people is worth more. And in crypto, you happen to be able to own that network. It's built for number go up. But they just think, well, this is crazy. This can't. Yes, it really is that easy. If you are actually, and that's why, if we talk about why you'd own the top 3 over anything else, is because those networks have been adopted. So just add incremental people in, number incrementally go up. It's just not complicated. But God, people complicate this whole game, and they find it as if there's a philosophical war that they have to have. It's because it questions everything. I got to this, that in 2021, and I started really uncovering this everything code and the debasement and everything else. And I divided everything by the Fed balance sheet, and I saw that technology and crypto were the only things that outperformed. That shattered my macro old school beliefs that tech itself, crypto I've been in forever, but tech was a bubble, that it was just always overpriced and can't people see, and one day it's all going to crash and blah, blah, blah. And then I realized, no, it's just network effects. These companies just keep growing. And it took me a while to completely abandon my framework where I would be looking for the down cycle to make the gains because they come fast in a down cycle if you're short, and completely switch mind. Most people won't do that. I completely changed my framework. And then when I started dividing NASDAQ by Bitcoin, because it's got the longest history, it's down 99.97%. So what the fucking point is there owning anything else? Even adjusted for the 97.5% fall, the 85% fall, the 75% fall, even adjusting for all of that, it's beaten the NASDAQ by 99.97%.
Raoul, I was trying to figure out coming into this,
So not beating it by 97%. NASDAQ's underperformed by 99.97%.
If you enjoyed all of that, then you'll absolutely love the Bankless newsletter. Join over 300,000 fellow readers, all for free. Click below to sign up.